Welcome back to another episode of Who Should You Choose, the video series where I go through the prior videos, questions, and comments and help you with your HUT lineup decisions. In last episode, I started, I took some comments about some criticism of Who Should You Choose videos, and I appreciate you guys. Again, I love hearing not just the good things, but also the bad things you want me to improve upon. So, I said that for these videos and going forward, if you have a lineup question, like the old school Who Should You Choose videos, put lineup question as the opening statement before your comment, and I'll be sure to go and pick a bunch of those as well to try and balance out the discussion comments as well as the lineup questions to try and appease as many people as I possibly can. So I do appreciate the feedback there. Let's get into the questions that we got today or the topics. So we've got Navi who says, "Hey, Slaves, this is a follow-up to the base packs from the XP set." He's referring to someone in my comments a couple videos ago said that the one collectible for the XP sets, the base pack, it was giving 75 and above player items like 90% of the time. Which is insane value because they're 72 and above, and as long as you're getting 75 and above, you're getting like 5,000 a collectible, right? So that being said, I chose to experiment with the collectibles by using 30 collectibles on the base pack, which guarantees a 72 player. The results are as follows: 9 bronze players, 17 silver players, and 4 gold players. 11 of the silvers consisted of 75 overall, which means that there was 6 more that were higher than 75. All of the 80 plus cards I've received are in the picture below. I don't think I can see a picture in the comments, but that being said, when converted into a percentage, bronze players made up 30% of the pulls, silvers made up 56.7% of the pulls, and gold plus players made up 13% of the pulls. 182, 284s, and an 85 overall. These are all tradable, by the way. Overall, the value of a 1-for-1 trade for a tradable reward that will majority of the time be 75 plus is honestly worth it. No, 100%. No, this was definitely a good call out, and happy that people are starting to take advantage of it. For anyone that has not done their XP collectible trade-ins yet, I would only do 5 at a time and then open your 5. And if you get like 3 bronze cards, then maybe don't do that because EA could change the odds at any time. And it's just something to pay attention to. Dino Krista says, "Hello, love these videos. I treat them more like a podcast than anything else. There aren't a lot of HUT talk on YouTube, so keep up the great work. Also, question: how to make EA change their mind on content release time? They showed a lot of times already that 1 p.m. drop is possible, so why not do it for everything so every player around the world can see it at the same time, same day?" Krista, you know me, 100%. I would love to see an earlier release time in the day. Obviously, I can understand that the world runs on the Eastern time zone, and a lot of the player base gets home from work, is able to see it at 5 p.m. So I can definitely appreciate that. I personally would love it if it was like noon because we have a major European player base. They'd be able to see it at 6 p.m. You're not really getting much of an advantage outside of when EA messes up, which is an awful lot, I guess. Because if you're around at content time, then technically you could, spam buy packs or cards when stuff's dropped. But again, I think that no matter what time you pick, you're going to piss some people off. I personally would love to see it 1 p.m. even Eastern time. We're never going to get that because they're on West Coast time, EA is. So they would have to finish it before even earlier, and that's just not going to happen, which sucks. But I'm so happy with the Fantasy Marchman. He's an absolute monster. Do you think we should all be all in for the Fantasy PWHL, or it's not worth it because women builds are sometimes not as good? Sorry for the hot question. No, a lot of PWHL questions, obviously, with the drop yesterday. Got to be honest with you, I think they did a great job with the PWHL drop. There was a lot of good content in there. There was new fantasy items, team builders, X Factors. I think they all did that great. I hope that doesn't take place of any of the team builders from the NHL or the X Factors or the team X Factors or fantasy cards. But that being said, from my understanding, they even put in the banner that there's more X Factors to come. So in all honesty, I would expect the new rounds of team builders and X Factors to come as early as today for the NHLers. When it comes to being all in for the PWHL, they operate exactly the same as their fantasy cards. Like if one of them scores like 6 goals in the first 10 games, then her card is going to be significantly better than everyone else's just based on attributes. Yes, they're smaller, but smaller players this year have not been as detrimental. I mean, Cole Caulfield, the launch of the game, his base X Factor was like one of the better cards, right? what I would recommend you do if you want to be involved in this event, because it is going to cost a lot. Here's what I would do. Is there a team that you would, if you don't watch the PHL, you don't care about, women's hockey or anything like that, what I would recommend is there a team that you could mildly pay attention to? The box score, watch the 5-minute recap of their games, and then, pick that player. Because then I think, in all honesty, of the entire build, I think the PWHL had the biggest W because I use this as an example. No one watches the Nashville Predators, and 2 years ago, everyone was a Matt Duchene fan, much like the Blues and Parayko this year. The Blues aren't a massive national media team, and everyone that plays Hut that had Parayko is blasting my Twitter, right? So it's no different when the PWHL is going on, so I think it could really get some casual fans that might not watch the PWHL to start paying attention to it. So I think it's a big dub for the PWHL. But to my take on them being added, I treat it just like all of the other European leagues. I don't watch European hockey. I don't really watch the PWHL, so it's not for me. But I'm not going to hate on anyone that wants to, have a lot of the PWHL cards. I think they did a really good job with the release. Lineup question. I'm finishing my first team builder, and I'm thinking Gartner. How would you rank Eichel, Gartner, Nylander, Panarin, and Barzal? Thanks for the answer. I would go Barzal number 1, Gartner 2, Eichel 3, Nylander 4. Watching this while trading in my 30-plus Team of the Week collectibles, one by one. Oh, yeah. And then I need to open each pack individually for 30 minutes. Don't even get to play. Close to calling it quits. Been playing since NHL 09, FNUF LOL, and Hut since 15. Finished top 100 in champs last week. Weird flex, but I don't blame you. I literally went into the Game Changer thing and I was like, guys, you need to figure out this pack issue, because the animation doing the trade in, if you had a lot of collectibles, it legitimately took almost an hour. It's absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So, yo, Sleeves, do the PWHL weekly moments. I got all silvers and golds in those weekly PWHL packs. Yeah, so right now, I don't know if these will change, but those PWHL packs, the weekly PWHL packs, those aren't the awful ones that are the weekly Hut moments. I thought they would be, where it's all bronze cards. Apparently, it's 75 and above players, pretty much. So tons of fodder to be had and really easy to complete those moments. So I would put a priority on getting those done for sure. Lineup question. First 86 team builder. Koivu looks the best, but my centers are Sundin, Barkov, Crosby, and Neuendijk. Oh my goodness. Well, if you have Cale Makar, his cover athlete card, and you're wondering about trading that in for Jack Hughes, his cover athlete, I know that was a scenario that I had personally. Go make Dan Boyle. But I would probably choose Gartner for sure. Hey, Sleeves. First off, I've enjoyed this year's version of Who Should You Choose format a lot more, since I can't stream Twitch at work, but I appreciate your willingness to listen and adjust to criticism. My apologies if this has already been mentioned, but the more I've been playing Pokemon TCG Pocket and listening to this year's Who Should You Choose videos, the more I've been thinking about how to improve Hut cards in the future. Here is my pitch, and I would love your thoughts on it. I think the way we could still make people chase weekly and MSP cards for players while keeping base card values high would be to allow them to upgrade their base cards with a higher overall release. For example, as a Pens fan, I use my base Crosby at the beginning of the year because progression is slowed down so much that it's viable. After I earn a Crosby MSP, like the off-the-charts Crosby, I can evolve my base Crosby into the MSP Crosby so I can keep all the stats that I had all year with my Crosby instead of it resetting with each new Crosby card I earn and use. Aside from the stat tracking, I want my favorite players. It would encourage actually collecting instead of our current card currency model. It's so disappointing after listening to this series. I see so many good ideas from this community compared to how uninspired the content has been this year. Thank you for the detailed comment, my man. I would love that. From a business standpoint, I don't know how EA would make money off of it. Maybe if they've really reduced the amount of cards in packs, so base cards are like harder to get. I would love something like that where every card could evolve for a cost. I think that's a very good idea, to be honest with you. But I don't know how EA using cards as currency is something to do in Madden and all their games. I hate it. I wish we could collect more. And this would be a really fun idea for sure. Hut lineup question. I made the Gauthier next-gen card because I'm a Ducks fan. However, he has the power forward synergy, and putting him in my lineup would mess my other 3 synergies. What should I do? Don't care. Gauthier goes in your lineup. Line number 1. Lineup question. I just started I started Black Friday weekend. The cards slash sets and whatnot are really and whatnot are really confusing to figure out how much things are going to cost me. I'm free to play. I have 550,000 coins. Holy smokes, you have a lot of coins for just starting. And all of my cards in collection are untradeable. I feel a bit stuck already, and the only thought is maybe buy base McKinnon, Matthews, and McDavid. Base McDavid is the safest card that you can buy. It is the best bang for your buck still in the game. So, um, 85 Suzuki and XP Strom. No idea if upgrading these is a good idea. Feel free to upgrade those XP cards, man, because you can refund them and get all of the tokens back, and then you can upgrade a different card if you'd like. Feel free. The 83 X Factor Heischer, Caulfield, Madonna, Nash, Gallagher, Couture. Okay, so you've got a lot of like basic cards. Appreciate you. I fall off of NHL pretty often, disheartened by the way the game is handled, but nice that whenever I do play, I can check in on your channels and find out about the game. Thank you, dude. With 550,000 coins, McDavid is your best bang for your buck for sure. I would put a major focus on getting a Protect the Net Master Set player item. So do the objectives, do your chores, and get a Master Set player item. And I would upgrade Logan Couture with those daily collectibles. It's gonna take you a long time, but he's been a very, very good card. In terms of what else to go after, you're really trying to make event cards like MSPs. Like I would just try and get. That's where I might focus. Protect the Net MSP. Wait for week 2 to see. Maze Joel, as others have said. Oh, okay, yeah. With that being said, lineup question: should I wait for season 2 X Factors to see if Ovechkin or Kachuk, my favorite players, get a captaincy or SC supercharge card, or go full send to try and make a Protect the Net MSP? Even though they would be a bottom 9 forward, low top 4 defenseman, I have no ambition in making a X Factor female card or Evo just because their cost is not there for me personally. I love that they are in the game finally. I just can't justify the cost when Team of the Year is right around the corner. Also, since the female X Factor is 78 overall to make the choice pack, do we think Season 2 X Factors will also be 78? Or will it be stick to 75s? If it's 78s, all of us that have hoarded 75s and have McDavid are not in a good shape. I would 100% expect the next Season 2 X Factors to be 78s. Yes, because when EA does stuff like this, it's based on their economy metrics in the background. So this is what they deem value, not because of the market value of what we deem those cards. It's 78s are worth X to them. So I would 100% expect 78s to be, because I think that Season 2 X Factors will be higher rated, obviously. Because if the base cards come out and they're 82 and 83s, no one's going to want them. So 100% I would expect 78s. Yeah. And in your case, because your team is so jacked, I would just wait. Lineup question: Ace Sleeves. I'm 2 vintage icons away from making my second holo. I have Chelios already, so I'm trying to decide between Orr and Lemieux. I've been building a theme team, so originally wanted Orr and just lock up my first pairing. However, the way they've been releasing makes me nervous that the holos outside of Lemieux, Gretzky, and Howe are just not going to get the same attention. So should I pivot and take Lemieux to be safer, or stay strong and go for Orr? Who should I choose? Orr will get cards. Orr is on the same level. They just haven't given it to him. They're so random, man. Like, they're so random. Even Lemieux and Gretzky, they're probably not going to get regular ones. It's just, I hate this format because it stinks. But yeah, any of the holograms, you're risking it in that sense. Bonjour Sleeves. I did 30 of the XP basic packs for science. First 16 packs, 2 at a time, and then batches of 8. Pulls seemed to be better when I was going 2 at a time, but who really knows? Here's the breakdown. He had 2 73 and 74, so that would be bronze cards. 10 75s, 6 76, 10 77 and 79s, and 81 and 82. Great value, but super tedious. This is on the heels of going crazy opening 6 icon packs to then make Gretzky. NHL is a guilty pleasure, but I only have so much time to play, and as a dad of 2 busy kids, no reveal all, no multiple selections, and multiple trade-in steps are far too time-consuming. Rant over for now. Keep up everything you do for the community. Your videos and Twitch streams save a lot of time and help kill my commute. Dude, yeah, they need to address this, and I'm hoping that Hut got a lot of love this year in terms of like a new mode, a completely new content structure, whether you enjoy it or not, the XP path, all of that. I'm hoping to God that they really improve the menus next year, because it's a disaster It is so silly, man. Lineup questions. Hey, Slaves. I somewhat agree that questions can get a bit repetitive, but I'd still rather have videos daily than not. I've got more of an old school who should you choose question. My first line is currently 86 Team of the Week Mac, Fantasy Aki Shirelli, and Base McDavid, relatively soon to be X Factor. Congrats. I haven't used any of the next gen items to make MSPs. Do you think it's worth it to trade in Mac to make Star of the Month Rantanen for my first line right winger and replace the traded in Mac with Barzal? Yes, that is a pretty significant upgrade in my opinion. I think it would definitely make my lineup slightly better and would give use to the next gen cards before I can't trade them in anymore. But I'm not sure if I'd rather just better off saving everything for Team of the Year, as there is likely more staying power there with Rants will have. Just trying to weigh the pros and cons. The safest thing is to save everything for Team of the Year, but I've said this number of times. It's just an awful way to play the game. You'll end up being bored. You'll end up being so bored. So I would make that trade to get Barzal, 100%. Lineup question. I have Fantilli 85, and with close quarters, he scores more often. Do you notice that? It depends on how. It depends on how you play. You might this is something that I talk about every once in a while. But if you go to your, let's say you just play Rivals, okay, or even in Squad Battle, it doesn't matter. If you go to your stats screen, and take a look at all your stats, sort by how many goals you score, and notice either the position or the handedness. Because I bet you any money that a majority of you score goals with only lefties, or only righties, or in NHL 25, only defensemen. And then you can put a emphasis on those positions. You know that if there's okay, I need to upgrade my right-handed wingers, but you never score with them anyways, focus on left-handed wingers. When it comes to where you score, then Close Quarters 2 years ago was one of the best abilities in the game. It's an animation-based ability, meaning that no matter how your player catches the puck, it gives you the full shot power and accuracy of that card, regardless if it's a fumbled puck or not. It was gross. It was overpowered. It got nerfed last year, and because of the cost, people didn't use it. Now, because all X factors are the same across the board, it's kind of in that middle ground. So you might score in around the net. It activates above the face-off dots and near in the slot area. It's a little bit smaller than what it used to be in 23. But yeah, man, close quarters might be an ability that works for you. For me, I love taking wrist shots for points, for tip, or I love taking wrist shots from the point for tip shots. So Heat Seeker which is already a great ability on Pareko, is even better for me, for example, than DDD, than 1T, for example, right? Just because of the way I play personally. Last one you can't see, but hut lineup question. I have enough to make Star of the Month Rantanen, but I would need to trade in the 86 McKinnon. So many people have this. Would it be worth it to trade in as I have 86 Panarin on the bench and I could get it back? McKinnon's Team of the Week is as good, if not better than Rantanen. But you have Barzal, Nylander, and Eichel. I would do that in your position. I would do that in your position. That's going to do it for this episode of Who Should You Choose, guys. Thank you again for all of the comments. If you want to watch the video live or jump in on the morning streams, maybe you're at work or in your commute, I go live at 10 a.m. Eastern Time every morning on Twitch to go over the full NHL recap. We watch the 5-minute recap of all the NHL games the night before. Then we record Who Should You Choose, and then we just spend the rest of the time just yapping. And then I go live at around 2 p.m. Eastern Time all the way up to the new content hour on content days. Again, that's on twitch.tv/nosleeves12. Appreciate everyone hanging out. And if you did want to support me and you have Amazon Prime, if you link your Twitch account with Prime, you get a free Twitch sub so you can watch my streams with no ads. Yeah. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me today. I'll see you guys later. A ton of content more than likely coming out today at 5 with week 2 of the Protect the Net. Maybe we get team builders. Maybe we get X Factors. I'll see you guys later.